Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is Rev Trev, and I'm really glad that you're here watching this video. I'm so excited about the NHL draft. It is just around the corner. Pumped. There are so many players that I'm going to be watching. I'm just so interested to see who's going to get drafted where, and especially certain guys. I'm just like, and I'm going to do a bunch of these draft videos, but today I'm diving into Matthew Wood. I am so interested. He's probably one of the most interesting storylines for me personally that I cannot wait to see what happens to Matthew Wood and where he ends up going. It's going to be exciting. Now, he's 6'3", 193 pounds. This kid he's not a kid. He's a young man. This young man is a good size. People are looking for size and skill. He's got that. And so here's the thing about Matthew Wood. He's the left winger. A lot of people are saying, not a lot. Some people have said he's a centerman. Now, I watched the Sakara and Price show, and they had Cam Robinson on from Elite Prospects. He's the film director, and he said that there's a lot of these guys that have that C as center on their little bill, but they haven't, I think, is it Leonard that hasn't played center in a year and a half? So it's like, I think that Matthew Wood is actually a winger, and a lot of Canuck fans are like, we don't want a winger. But when you got a guy this size and this skilled, I think you should really consider him. Now, I need to tell you something about Matthew Wood that is just interesting about this video. I am completely biased about Matthew Wood. I know this young man. I have had the privilege of connecting with him. In fact, our families have connected before. My son has been friends with him, and my daughter's friends with his sisters. Like, we know where they live, that whole thing, right? Like, it's just so cool to see a young man living out his dream, about to be drafted to the NHL. And as a Canucks fan, drafting 11th, I would be so excited if he came to Vancouver for so many personal reasons, because he's just really a really nice young guy and super skilled. So I'm just admitting that right now. I'm very biased. But here's a story about Matthew Wood that you might laugh at or not know, is that Matthew actually played on the elementary basketball team that I had the privilege of coaching. My son and Matthew played on the team. He was awesome. He was so good. In fact, we were in the playoffs, and he had a massive block at the end to win the game, and we just had fun. He was a nice kid, coachable, teachable, worked hard, athletic. I mean, a lot of hockey players can't play basketball. He's one of the exceptions to the rule. So here's the funny story about Matthew Wood, because I saw potential in his athleticism. So I go to his dad after one of the games, and I said to him, hey, your son has really played well. Like, he's actually starting to dominate. It's been fun. I know it's only grade 7, okay? Just bear with me here, but I'm a huge basketball fan. I've coached basketball for years and years. So anyways, long story to say, I said to his dad, I think you should continue to have him play. And he's going to be really good if he continues to practice and work hard. And his dad looked at me kind of with a little smirk in his, and said, well, he plays hockey. And I literally said to his dad, well, he should quit hockey and play basketball. That's how good he could be. I had no idea that he was that good at hockey, okay? And his dad, he didn't correct me. He was gracious. He kind of he knew what his son could be. Like, he saw potential there, and his dad's super into hockey and all that kind of stuff too. So he never, I just laugh about this story, because are you kidding me right now? I told Matthew Wood's dad that he should quit hockey. I had no idea. I knew he had played hockey, but I didn't know he was this good or had this much potential. So it's really exciting to see him part of the draft. So, Okay, so obviously I'd be super pumped if he came to Vancouver. And it's now not just me saying that. I've been watching a lot of Canucks Twitter and just YouTube videos, and there's a growing appreciation for Matthew Wood coming to Vancouver and being the guy that we drafted 11. So, and he's all over the map of where he can be drafted. There's so many people have different opinions on him. Now, let's just quickly talk about the history of Matthew Wood. What a lot of people don't understand is that he actually played for the Victoria Grizzlies, and that's just, an hour and a half down the road from his hometown in Nanaimo, and he led the league. Listen, he led the league in 46 games. He had 85 points. Now that's the BCHL, right? So, and instead of going to the Regina Pats to play with his friend Connor Bedard, he went to play the college route with play at UConn, right? And so that's the thing about the BCHL, about that league, is it's called smart hockey, because if you play in that league, your goal is to get a U.S. scholarship. Now, we know in the CHL, which part of that division is the WHL, where he could have played in, once you play in the CHL, it's a lot harder to get into the States and get a full ride scholarship. So he went the smart route and went to UConn. He's getting his education there. Now, that is really important to know, because I don't think that he's going to play next season. In fact, he's planning on playing at least another season with UConn. So this young man has the potential to continue to develop in that system. Now, you need to remind yourself, don't get disappointed when I say that, because the NHL draft is actually known as the entry draft. It's different than the NFL, where kids that get drafted, or young men who get drafted in the NFL, first 3 rounds, they're expected to be starters or playing significant minutes. Where the NHL, it's only a number of players that play that next year. It's a big jump because they are only 18 years old. Some are even, I think, as low as 17, 17, 18, 19-year-old players. They still haven't developed fully. Like, they still have room to grow and just get bigger and stronger, because the NHL is grown men. So, a lot of these players, you need to understand, aren't going to get into systems next season as much as you want, and Vancouver wants to see their prospect now. So, I've dived into a couple articles from thehockeywriters.com, eliteprospects.com, just to get some more background on Matthew. And, that was so interesting how he went to UConn. And so here's the thing. Here's what they said in this, is Matthew Wood's star began to rise last season as a member of the Victoria Grizzlies of the British Columbia Hockey League, BCHL, when he scored 45 goals and 85 points in 46 games. Like, he was scoring a goal a game, right? Finishing with the most goals and points by a rookie and winning the Brett Hall Trophy as BCHL's top scorer and the Bruce Allen Memorial Trophy as BCHL Rookie of the Year. He became that prospect to watch for the 2023 NHL draft. So that's so interesting. Like, I had been following him, but didn't realize how much he had dominated. Because if you think of the BCHL, there are a lot of kids going that route and making the NHL nowadays. For example, like the Penticton Vs are absolutely stacked. They have Hall of Fame NHL players' sons on those teams. Like, Penticton is super stacked, right? That whole Okanagan division is amazing with Vernon and Salmon Arm. And if you think about West Kelowna's won a championship. I mean, Vernon's the most winningest team in all of Canadian, that league's Canadian thing, and it's so hard to win that championship. They have more championships than anyone else, but Penticton is amazing, right? And then if you look at there's Victoria, there is the Nanaimo Clippers, you have the Surrey Eagles, the Langley Rivermen had Gary Volk's son play on their team this season. I mean, there's a lot of good teams out there. I mean, Port Alberni had a great run in the playoffs, and so there's this league that's going on. A lot of people don't know about, and there's some really good hockey players. So they're going to the college route, the NCAA route, and it's pretty exciting. Okay, so back to Matthew Wood, and let's talk about his strengths. So one of the things that people continually talk about is his shot. Like, he can shoot the puck. Obviously, 45 goals in 46 games, that is insane. It says here that his wrist shot looks much better than the start of the season. He keeps distance between his feet and his hands in front, really pulling that top arm back and moving it across his body to shoot through opponents. Can shoot off either foot and even in motion off the inside leg. In moments, he shows unchaining ability, whether that was receiving a pass, fighting off pressure, and passing for an assist, or toe dragging around a stick inside the pass reception before cutting inside for the shot. And that's what Elite Prospects had said about him. So what there's a lot of people are saying is Matthew Wood has incredible hockey sense, right? And the more you listen to people talking about his skill set, they're talking about a two-way player. He works extremely hard on the defensive end. Now, so that's great news. That's great news. So whoever drafts him will be getting a real incredible potential prospect that could have elite skill going into the NHL one day. But the growth areas that people continually say is his skating, which is very interesting. But Cam Robinson, again, referring that Sekera and Price interview, said that he has greatly improved his skating from the beginning of the year to now. And that is good, because the MO on him is that he's not a great skater and he's going to really struggle. Well, if he's already improving, so I don't know when those people wrote those things, those articles, but it sounds like he's been improving. And so that's his growth area, and he's already been growing in it. So that's super, super encouraging. So good news is that he's super young, okay? And he still has time to develop, and it sounds like he's going to play that extra year. Now, I want to, Derek, I don't know if he's Newmeyer, I don't know how you say that name, but I love this tweet. He says, I'm surprised that Matthew Wood isn't getting more buzz as a top prospect for the 2023 draft. Not only is he the only 2005 born player in the NCAA, he's also scoring near a point per game, which hasn't happened for a 17 or 18-year-old since Jonathan Toews. Raw but awesome upside. Listen, that should get your attention right now. Like, Canucks fans, if we drafted Matthew Wood, you shouldn't be saying, "Oh man, we got a winger here." Like, this kid is putting up numbers young man is putting up numbers, right? So I'm super interested to see where he goes. I think he's got tons of potential. I love his size. He's not going to get knocked off the puck. He's going to be productive. He might take a year or two to develop, but man, he's going to get into someone's lineup and he's going to make a difference. And what's wild is, I know him. I think he's a great young man. Appreciate his family, super nice. His mom and dad are nice, and sisters, everyone's great. So hope that you've enjoyed this video on Matthew Wood. I don't know if you'll be more excited than I am where he ends up, but there's all kinds of players that I think that I think the Canucks are gonna draft. I actually don't think the Canucks are gonna draft Matthew Wood, but I'm hoping he does. But there'll be a number of guys that I'd be very, very happy to have. I'm really excited about this year's draft. But if it's Matthew Wood, man, our family is going to be so excited if Matthew ends up becoming a Vancouver Canuck. I'd love to hear what you think about him. Post it in the comments. Please hit that like and subscribe. And of course, always go Canucks, go.